Since Cinnamon Hitler took office, there have been plenty of campaign promises that he hasn't fulfilled. Building the wall, repealing Obamacare, and of course, adding a swimsuit competition to the SATs. But one promise Trump did keep was passing a giant tax cut. And since it went into effect 8 months ago, business is booming. In fact, last quarter, GDP hit 4% growth, which is impressive. The economy in America has been growing so fast. If it were a sixth grader, it would be that weird boy with the awkward mustache who doesn't know how to shave yet. You know, that kid is just like, I woke up one morning and my GDP was huge. But while it's true that corporate profits are much higher these days, the idea was that they would pass some of that money along to the people who work for them. It's a theory known as trickle down, right? Which I'm sure is what piqued President Trump's interest immediately. He was like, finally, all America will be showered with gold. A golden shower, if you will, folks. The problem is that so far, corporations have been keeping the extra cash for themselves.
So far, the biggest investments have been made in stock buybacks, $700 billion worth in the first 2 quarters, meaning these tax savings are bypassing workers and going straight into shareholders' pockets. Real hourly pay of middle-class workers has risen just 0.4% over the last 18 months.
A new analysis by Americans for Tax Fairness found that only 4% of workers got a pay raise as a result of the tax bill.
That's right. For the most part, corporations just pass their tax cuts on to stockholders. You know, it's starting to seem like when Trump promised he'd help the forgotten man, he was specifically referring to an eccentric old billionaire who never leaves his mansion. He was like, we must never forget about Mortimer, folks. Never forget him. He saves all these boogers in one big jar, and we love him so much. So great, tasty boogers. But the fact is, Trump promised a tax cut for everyone. And so far, it's gone almost entirely to the wealthy. That's not a great look. So with the midterms less than 100 days away, the administration has come up with a bold new idea.
The New York Times reports the Trump administration is considering a $100 billion tax cut that would mainly benefit the rich.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin said that his department was studying whether it could use its regulatory powers to allow Americans to account for inflation in determining capital gains tax liability. The Times says that independent analyses suggest that more than 97% of the benefits of indexing capital gains for inflation would actually go to the top 10% in America.
Yes, the White House is now planning even more tax cuts that will overwhelmingly benefit the rich, including, by the way, big real estate owners like President Trump. And at this point, it feels like Trump is just trying to get his way with as much as possible before Robert Mueller gets him, you know? Yeah, it's like he's a shoplifter in a Circle K who sees the cops come in and just starts shoving candy into his pockets. He's like, okay, you got me, but these are mine. I keep these now. I keep them all.